Nothing says celebration like the luxury of Dom Perignon. Known as the King of Champagne, it stands for elegance, exclusivity, and true sophistication. What makes Dom Perignon special is that it's always a vintage champagne, crafted only in the best years with the finest grapes. Its rare Plénitude series, P1, P2, and P3, takes this exclusivity even further, offering unique expressions of its aging potential. It's a champagne so iconic that it was even served at the royal wedding of Princess Diana and Prince Charles. In this video, we'll share the story of Dom Perignon, from its rich history to the care that goes into making it. Let's discover why this champagne is the perfect choice for life's most important moments. According to tradition, a French Benedictine monk named Dom Perignon invented sparkling wine in 1693. The story goes that after tasting it for the first time, he cried out, "Come quickly, I am drinking the stars." It's a magical tale, but unfortunately, it's just a myth. While Dom Perignon was a real 17th century monk and an important figure in winemaking, the rest of the story isn't true. In reality, Dom Perignon didn't invent sparkling wine. He was trying to avoid it. During his time as cellar master at the Abbey of Hautevillers, Dom Perignon worked hard to create still wine, the preferred style at the time. The bubbles in wine were seen as a flaw, often caused by the fermentation process continuing in the bottle. Dom Perignon may not have invented champagne, but he played a key role in advancing winemaking during his time. For example, he discovered that reducing the yield of grapes on the vine made the wine taste richer and more intense. He also improved the flavor by blending different grape varieties, earning him the title Father of Assemblage. When he accepted that wine could sparkle, he sealed the bottles with corks tied securely with a cord, a step that paved the way for today's agrafe. Dom Perignon was also the first to store wine bottles in the monastery's chalk cellars, noticing they matured better in the cool, stable environment. Thanks to his innovations, sparkling wine bottles are now made thicker worldwide to handle the pressure inside. The standard bottle size of 0.75 liters is also said to be traced back to him. After observing his fellow monks, he found that this was the average amount of wine each person drank with dinner. Shortly after the French Revolution, Jean-Remy Moet, the grandson of the founder of Moet and Chandon, bought the former Hautevillers Abbey. Jean-Remy was a key figure in the champagne industry and helped Moet and Chandon become internationally famous. He even had a close relationship with Napoleon Bonaparte, a big fan of Moet champagne. The idea of naming champagne after Dom Perignon only came about in the late 1920s, when Moet and Chandon decided to create champagne unlike anything the world had ever seen. They wanted a special, high-end product that would stand out, so they decided to use the name Dom Perignon to give it a unique identity. However, there was a problem. The Mercier Champagne House had already registered the name Dom Perignon years earlier, though they never used it. In 1930, Moet bought the rights to the name from Mercier, and later, the entire Mercier company. The first vintage of Dom Perignon was made in 1921, and it was only released for sale in 1936. Moet wanted to create a more exclusive champagne, with a focus on the highest quality. Dom Perignon was made only in the best years with the finest grapes. It was a vintage-only champagne. Each bottle came from a specific year, making it rare and special. Additionally, Dom Perignon was made to age well, becoming even more complex and flavorful over time. The first buyers of Dom Perignon 1921 were 150 customers of Simon Brothers and Company, the company that imported Moet in the United Kingdom, which ordered the first 300 bottles. The wine received immediate attention in the marketplace, and 100 boxes were shipped to the United States shortly thereafter. This helped establish Dom Perignon as a symbol of luxury and exclusivity. One of the biggest turning points for Moet and Chandon came in 1971, when it merged with Hennessy, the renowned cognac producer. This partnership combined resources and expanded their global influence, but also presented challenges. Aligning supply chains and maintaining the distinct identities of both brands required careful planning. In 1987, Moet Hennessy joined forces with Louis Vuitton to create LVMH, the first luxury conglomerate of its kind. However, the merger triggered power struggles. Executives from Moet Hennessy and Louis Vuitton disagreed on strategy, opening the door for Bernard Arnault to take control. Arnault, known for his aggressive business style, formed alliances with shareholders and ousted key rivals, consolidating power by 1989. While some criticized his methods, Arnault's vision transformed LVMH into a global luxury powerhouse. For Dom Perignon, LVMH's marketing and distribution networks brought greater visibility. Yet critics argue that the brand's focus shifted under corporate ownership. Large-scale production and collaborations with celebrities have raised concerns that Dom Perignon has prioritized mass appeal over its artisanal roots. What makes Dom Perignon so special? It is crafted exclusively at the historic Abbey of Hautevillers in the Champagne region of France. Its grapes are sourced from a selection of Grand Cru and Premier Cru vineyards, the highest quality classifications in Champagne. The unique terroir of Dom Perignon's vineyards is characterized by chalky soil, a hallmark of the Champagne region. This soil retains moisture to keep vines hydrated during dry spells, while providing excellent drainage to prevent waterlogging. This balance supports slow, even ripening of the grapes, which is essential for developing complex flavors. The region's cool climate ensures high acidity, a key trait for Champagne's freshness and longevity. Dom Pérignon is a blend of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. The proportions of the blend vary by vintage, ensuring every bottle embodies the character of its year. It is exclusively a vintage champagne, produced only in the best years when the harvest meets the brand's exacting standards. For select vintages, Dom Perignon introduces its rare Plénitude series, P2 and P3, representing the second and third stages of evolution through extended aging. Plénitude 2, P2, aged for at least 15 years. Plénitude 3, P3, aged for 30 to 40 years. A special highlight of Dom Pérignon's portfolio is its Rosé Champagne, first introduced with the 1959 vintage. It typically incorporates a higher proportion of Pinot Noir, often vinified as red wine, which imparts a distinctive structure and vibrant red fruit character. Now, let's talk about the prices and best vintages. Dom Pérignon P1, the standard vintage, released after 8 to 10 years of aging, typically costs around $300 per bottle. Exceptional vintages like 2008 and 2010 are highly sought after for their balance, finesse, and aging potential. For instance, the 2008 vintage has been rated 98 points by Wine Spectator and 99 points by James Suckling, while the 2010 vintage received 95 points from Robert Parker's Wine Advocate. Dom Pérignon P2, aged for at least 15 years. P2 offers greater complexity and intensity. The average price is around $570. The 1996 vintage is particularly esteemed, with ratings of 97 points by Robert Parker and 98 points by Decanter. Similarly, the 2002 vintage has received 96 points from Robert Parker and 98 points from Wine Enthusiast. Dom Pérignon P3 are aged 30 to 40 years and are exceedingly rare, often priced above $4,400 per bottle. The 1982 vintage has been rated 98 points by Wine Enthusiast, and the 1990 vintage received 97 points from Wine Spectator and 98 points from James Suckling. Dom Perignon Rosé, known for its bold flavors and vibrant red fruit notes. It is available in the P1, P2, and P3 tiers, reflecting its aging process. The P1 Rosé, released after 8 to 10 years of aging, typically costs around $470, with standout vintages like the 2002, 98 points by James Suckling, the 2003, 96 points by Wine Spectator, and the 2008, 97 points by Robert Parker. The P2 Rosé, aged for at least 15 years, offers deeper complexity and intensity. It's priced at around $1,670 per bottle. Exceptional P2 vintages include the 1996, 99 points by Wine Spectator, and the 2002, 97 points by Wine Enthusiast. The ultra-rare P3 Rosé, aged for 30 years or more, represents the pinnacle of Dom Perignon Rosé's evolution and commands prices around $4,900. Standout P3 vintages include the 1982, 97 points by Wine Spectator, and the 1990, 98 points by James Suckling. Dom Perignon's modern collaborations and bold marketing spark debate. Some love the fresh approach, others miss the traditional charm. What do you think? Comment below, subscribe, and thanks for watching.